the hard part again. So did you rest enough? Are you sure? Let's do this. I know or and is not in the caps. It's not, right? But sometimes it is easier to use the or and the and function instead of that long nasty nested if. Alright? Because like you saw, the nested if is an and an or function in disguise, if I could say it like that. Alright? So the difference between the or and the and function is either one of these three have to be true for a true value to be returned. Okay? So if you put or B6 greater than 12, comma B6 greater C6 greater than 20, comma D6 greater than whatever, either one of the three must be true and then a true value gets returned. So can you see, you don't have to go like if, what, comma, true, comma, false, etc. It's built into this. So a true and a false value gets returned. Okay? That's for the or.
So if goes with the or. Then you ask if
and
yes.
And. If and or and goes with if. Right. Because I'll get back to that nested if just now. If you look at this and, the first one, the second logic, and the third logical value must be true for a true value to be returned. Now remember our nested if from just now. The first one was alone, so that one was an or. But when we tested whether the birth date is equal to today, or the month is equal to today, we did another test. Remember that? And if you can't, I'll show you quickly. Where's my flow chart? Okay, so our first one was, is the birth month greater than the current month? Right? That was a test. Was that test dependent on anything else? No. That means this one or the other one has to be true for true to be returned. Okay. Now, we had a second test, remember? Is the birth month equal to the current month? And if the birth month is equal to the current month, then what? What happened then? Can you still remember? We tested the day. Remember that. Now, are you starting to feel that one, that, or that had to be true? Alright? So this part, the top part, or the bottom part had to be true. Can you see the and the or here? Alright? And these two had to be true for this to be true. Okay? So, can you see it's like two tests? It's the top test or the second test, the bottom test. Alright? The top test consists of one test. But the second test, the bottom test, consists of two tests. So this is an and. You see that? And that is an that or this. Alright. Now this exercise is the same exercise as just now. However, this time round, I want you to take that nested if and convert it to a combination of an and an or function. Okay, I gave you some tips on this. Right. You may use building blocks. I'm going to use building blocks when I explain this to you. Alright, are you ready for your 7 minutes? And go. 7 minutes. Right, I'm going to firstly make it a bit bigger because you can't see. Secondly, I'm going to put the 3 tests there because I need to explain the and the or to you. Did you get it right? Yes. Well done. Okay, so let's see. First test, month, greater. Second test, month, equal. And third test was day, greater or equal. Right? So just so that you can see the 3 tests. That's what I want you to see. And here, I'm not typing anything in because I told you if you want to use a building block, your final answer must be in the cell where the final answer should be. Alright, now our first test was, is the month of this greater than the month of today? Note what I'm doing. I'm not making it an if statement. Alright? I could make it an if statement. If month of D2 is greater than month of today, true, else false. But I don't need to do that because if I just put the operator there, Excel sees it as a true-false situation. So it's either true or it's false. So that shortens the whole function. Alright. Let's see. Now if I drag it down, okay, so the month of today is 8. 6, 7 is false, 8 should be, is it greater than? No, 10 should be true, ne? So it's fine, it works. Okay. The second test is equal month of D2 should be equal to month of today. Right. Okay, let's see if I pull it down. Okay, so this one's equal. So this one's giving me a true. Alright. Then the third test is the day of D2 should be greater or equal to the day of today. Right. And I pull it down. Okay. Now what's the test? The test is which should be true. Remember our flow chart. It's either if the month is greater, you get a voucher straight. Okay? So if this is true, he gets a voucher. Okay? So this guy, he gets a voucher. Straightforward. But both these two must be true before he gets a voucher. Like this guy won't get a voucher. Do you see that? This guy won't get a voucher. This guy won't get a voucher. This poor guy is also not getting a voucher, and there's one. Oh, shame, he gets a voucher. Alright? So, this one must be true, or both these must be true for him to get a voucher. So, let's do the and. Do we start off with an or with an and? We have to start with an or, because it's either this one or these two that should be true. So it's either that one, F2 should be equal to true. Okay, so F2 should be equal to true, or, okay, now, or both those two should be true. And, sorry, don't have to because it's an or and and. Or and and makes it false. B2, no, not B2. What's it? G2 or and H2. Okay, let's just check the logic here. So that we can see. So it's either F2 or G2 and H2 must be true. Okay. So let's see. How many people are going to get vouchers? Let's change this date. I like her rand between. She was saying that she was using rand between to explain this kind of thing to her kids, because every time you press F5 then it regenerates, then you can see the differences. But what I'm going to do is old school. I'm just going to change the original data. Okay, now let's start off with someone whose birthday was in August but has passed already. Okay, should he get a voucher? No, but this test will be true because it's equal. Okay, the month is equal. Let's go with someone whose birthday month is next month. He should get a voucher. Alright? This one's true. These two can both be false. It doesn't matter as long as this one is true. Okay? let's go to a third one. This guy's birthday is today. Alright? So, even though this one is false, both these two must be true before he gets a voucher. Now, if you want to, this is 100% acceptable. Okay? The kids don't have to go and redo it. But if you're OCD like me, then you wouldn't want the building blocks to sit there. So what do? You go there and copy, and then where it says F2, you just paste it in. Alright? Then I go and copy G, and I go and paste in where it says G2, and then I go copy H, and where it says H2, I just paste it in, and there's that long function. Is it necessary though? Building blocks, building blocks, building blocks, building blocks, building blocks. Did you see that the difficulty level dropped with the building block? Right? Even the cognitive level dropped with the building block. Unfortunately, that's the case. It drops with the building block. As long as the final answer is there, it's fine. Okay. Do you want to write it down? Do you want to just look at it? You're going to get the solutions file, so don't stress. I will email it to Vic, and then Vic will email it to you. Okay, there it is. Or if check the month and check the month. Alright? It even went one step further. I dropped the if, ne? I didn't even put the if because the true is there, whether it's there or not. So I just did this part. And I did this part. Alright. Okay, that was the hardest for now. All the ones that come now are easy. I promise. Okay. The whole purpose of this extremely difficult training, I should say, is because I want you to understand that it is important that you teach kids that certain things that we teach them don't have to be a value. It can be replaced with a function. Alright? For example, the left function. B1 is the cell from which we want to extract the text, right? But the second parameter is how many numbers to extract, or how many characters to extract, for example. Does that have to be a 2 or a 3 or a 4? No, it can be replaced with a sum 1 plus 1 for argument's sake. Alright? Or something like this. I've taken this out from the exam, the previous exam papers up to now. So this has been asked. Even the VLOOKUP, remember the rand between, Claire was mentioning that, the rand between inside the column index number instead of a 2. It can be a 1 to a 4. It was that one with a silver, gold, palladium one. Alright, this one you've seen before. So left, where do you want to extract the text from? And then how many characters? Basically, that find space A8 means extract the characters up to the space. So in other words, if the space is character number 5, extract to character number 5. That's what that find space in A8 means. It means if that space is in character number 5, extract 5. If that space is in character number 7, extract 7. Look at the next one, mid. Where do you want to extract the text from? Okay, from where to where? From where? From the space, from the character number of the space until the character number of the last letter. Okay, so it's not constant. Can you see that? All variables. Okay, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Alright, yeah, you can, that last one, instead of, but that one is a condition. So a condition is normally can be a function or anything. So in if it's fine. Alright. Now I just need to mention conditional formatting to you. I just need to say it. Okay. What we do is we teach the kids what we see. But there are different things. If you look at this, there are different things to see. Okay. Like the first one. Format all cells based on their values in a 2-color scale. Lowest value, highest value, and that's that. Alright? Second one, format only cells that contain. Now what we normally do is cell values, but there's specific text, there's dates occurring, there's blanks, there's non-blanks, there's errors, there's no errors. Drop down that drop down thing and see what else is available there. Don't just teach the kids the first one. Alright? Also, between can be, not between, equal to, not equal to, greater than, etc., etc. You get where I'm going with this. Alright? Then the format. The format is a normal fill, or it can be a pattern color, or it can be a gradient. Alright? So teach the kids more than just the first one. Teach them the second one and the third one, if possible, if there are seconds and thirds. It's like food. Seconds and thirds. Don't go there. Right? Then the top and bottom ranked cells. Top or bottom, but note, top 10 or top 10%. Can you see that? So one simple difference. So if it's top 10, it's actually 10 numbers, but if it's top 10%, it can be less or more, depending. Alright? More, format only values that are above or below average, below average, equal or above, equal or below. And then format, we don't expect the kids to know standard deviation is not in the caps. Relax. Okay? Again, format only unique or duplicates. Unique or duplicates, and set the format. You should have seen this before. I mean, it's in the papers. It's been there. Okay? Yes, use a formula to determine which cells to format. So instead of having a cell value between whatever, you can say, you could put a function or a formula in here. Some examples of some extreme functions, if you would want. Count if they are equal. So if basically what it's saying is, if they are equal to 0, count how many of them are equal to 0 and format them. Or if it's greater than 100. Or if B4 is larger than the, I don't know how many is largest one. Or, and here's a nasty little and. Okay. I mean, we don't expect them to know it there, but I'm just mentioning it to you that it is possible to do that. Alright? Go play around with it. Okay. Now, yes, what I think the problem is with Excel. We find it in the final exam. The kids know the functions. I'm telling you now, if I walk into your class and I ask them, tell me what a VLOOKUP function looks like, they will know. Right? Even basically. And I'm telling you, no matter which school. Any school I go to now, and I ask a child, show me what a COUNTIFs function looks like, will know. Right? They will know because you train them that. You teach them and you drill them. The problem I have is that they know the function, and it's so sad in the final exam when we mark that where they asked the VLOOKUP function, the child didn't do a VLOOKUP function. But somewhere else, where they didn't ask a VLOOKUP function, he does a VLOOKUP function perfectly. Alright? That means he knows the content, but he doesn't know where to apply the skill of the function.
The thing is the understanding of the wording. So if we can drill them as much as possible with different wordings, they'll already be prepared for that.
So what I did is, this is not right. What I'm showing you now is not right. I just added some functions on the side. I would recommend, or I would suggest, use this. Take away the functions like I did with you. Alright? And let them come up with functions. For example, which functions, and funny enough, I found some teachers also struggle. It's a new concept. It's a new way of doing it. So let's see. Count cells between two numbers. Give me any possible function that you can use here. Obviously count, right? And between two numbers. COUNTIF. COUNTIFs. I'm the same. Alright? Okay. Count cells equal to or not equal to. Count. If. Can it be count? Now you need to stop the kids and say, okay, can this be count? Count cells equal to something. Count cells not equal to something. Can't be count. Must be count if, for example. Not equal to, possibly, alright. Count cells greater than or smaller than. Could be count ifs. Okay, what you'll see what I did is I put all the counting functions together. So yeah, in most cases it will be something like count if, count blank, etc. But what I would like you to do is I'd like you to take this, mix them up, because I've got some more on the other slides. Mix them up and tell kids, okay, count cells that begin with which function? It could be, it must be count if, and then combined with a left, for example. So, yeah, the functions they know, but when to use them they don't. I would, if I was teaching, I would take this and not use this. I would use this for grade 10 and 11, but for grade 12, I would take matric papers and just, instead of this, put that there and ask them, okay, which function? You don't know the data, you don't have anything in front of you, which function? Which function? Which function? Because I find that the kids know the functions, but they just don't know when to use them. Alright? So try this, maybe it'll help. Okay, there's the sum as well. Let's go for some bottom n values. N means bottom 5, bottom 6 values with criteria. Function. Some if combined with a small, most probably. Okay? Some of them are straightforward. Some of the kids are going to be shocked. They're going to give you more options. Alright? Because that's what we get in the final exam. We get these extra options of functions that we didn't even like substitute. I didn't even know. I knew there was a function, but I didn't even know that the kids know that. Right? So when it comes up in your class now, you'll be able to say, okay, tell us about that function, or when do you use it? Okay, more. Combine it with dates. Right? There's average as well. Average the last 5 values. There's no average if, so it's average combined with. There is an average if, but it's not in the caps. So there's an average combined with the last 5 values. Min. But min is only the one. So it should be small.
Small.
Possibly.
Small, 5.
Okay. Just a new way. Maybe it helps. Alright. Some more with min and max. And then some date and time functions that they don't know at this stage that well. There's a couple. Then text functions. These are the ones where you find the nice combinations. But the problem is they don't necessarily have to use this. They will come up with their ways of doing it, and then you type it in. And then once you type it in, you have the answers for next year, and you take it away from them, like I did now. And then just have this and show them. Miscellaneous. Oh yeah, I forgot I wanted to ask you that one. Let me just check. The root. Powers in the caps, ne? To grade 10. Not always easy to ask, but definitely in the caps.
It's so much easier to just use the
I couldn't find any power questions, actually, to be honest with you. I couldn't find any.
It was in the study opportunities for 11.
Yeah.
Which one?
No,
So I don't have that one. Yeah. Alright, the most frequently occurring number? Mode.
Yeah. And Charles Ball.
Okay, we did the random and the right between.
Are they actually not supposed to know median?
They are not supposed. They're not supposed to know median actually.
But they know because of their maths. So they're doing maths and that's it. So they do.
I do find lots of them actually use median.
It's just to find jobs.
Instead of no, but it's not the same.
Or average, they use it in combination with average or something like that.
Yeah, they use the mathematical way of doing it. this is a mathematical formula, depending on how.
We find it in the final exam. We don't know it. We think we do, but we don't. Alright. Right. Then just some things that I extracted from the caps, right, that I need you to take note of. It's in the caps where it says use more advanced combination of functions and formula. Alright? That means that you need to teach in your classroom the advanced functions and formula combinations. Right? It's not in the grade 12 term 4 part that I extracted this. You can go and find the pages on which that is and see when you are supposed to be teaching this. But we get a lot of queries as subject advisors, I should say, on what should we teach. You should teach the caps. That's what you should teach. And the cap states the following things. Use more advanced combinations of functions and formula. I'm going to read the sentences because I just copied and pasted it from the caps. Through teaching and practicing the mechanical, technical skills and functions of applications are important for the learner to become familiar with the tool that he uses. It is important to do so within the paradigm of computational thinking. So just mechanical skills, procedural skills are not sufficient. You have to teach them the computational thinking, especially beyond spreadsheets. Especially, alright, more. It is important that learners are also taught the underlying knowledge and understanding of these skills. In other words, they need to understand the date and how it works, not just teach them the date. Not just how to work out the VLOOKUP. Find out how the underlying principles are working. It should be taught in a way that learners will be able to transfer the skills and knowledge to note new versions of the applications as well as other similar applications. In other words, what this sentence is saying, and I took it from spreadsheet, if there's something in a spreadsheet that works exactly the same in a database, then the kids need to be made aware of it. For example, I'm going to use one example, conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is in spreadsheets. It works exactly the same way in Access, right? No difference. So asking it in Access covers this, and knowledge to new versions of the application and other similar applications. And another example, some functions can be taken to Word in a table. Some functions can be taken to Access. It works exactly the same. So you need to teach that to your learners. I'm not saying that poor little child that puts the sum in front of everything. I'm talking about that guy that wants his distinction. Right? More. This will teach them to not only to follow a specific set of instructions, but also to complete a given task that involves careful thinking and reasoning about how to do it. And if there is more than one way, compare the methods and find the best way to do it. That's why there are different options in the spreadsheet solutions, because some of the things are more difficult than others to do. A VLOOKUP, like Claire said, she prefers that if with a VLOOKUP because it makes more sense. You might prefer it, but the kids might actually know a better way to do it, and that's okay. That's fine. Alright? Be careful when you're marking, that you don't mark it wrong when it's right. More. Learners should solve problems, in other words, apply a combination of techniques, knowledge and skills learned to new situations. So all these unfamiliar questions that come in the question paper should be there, not for the 50 and the 60 and the 30. And I'm going to even go as far as the guy that makes his 70. He's going to get his 70. But the kid that wants his distinction should know that something that you know will come in a new situation. And that is what the cap states. Right. Teach learners to use and combine information, data and ideas to solve the problems, to discover and explain relationships or trends and predict behavior. What I'm trying to say is, like I said, okay, let's take date. What else can be asked? Alright? Don't just teach them, here's the content, learn it. teach them, okay, here's the content, where can we apply it? What else can we do with it? Where else can we do what with it? Etc. Alright? I think that's a big lack currently in, I'm not going to say all the teaching, but in some teaching it's a lack. Because you teach and you don't have time, and I get that. You teach. But the kid that wants a distinction gets disadvantaged because of the kid that needs to pass. And that's, I'm sorry, unfair. Alright? So this workshop was not for you and the poor little child that gets 50. This workshop was for you and that kid that misses his distinction, because he can get it. He can get his distinction. Alright? And all these things come from the caps. So when you teach, what you should be teaching is what the cap says. Claire made a valid point. Do we need to teach them sort from left to right? The cap says sort. The caps doesn't say sort from top to bottom. The cap says sort. Okay? Hasn't been asked yet, but still, or has it? I don't know. I don't know about all the other papers. Alright. Any other questions from your side? No?
Can I ask something based on opinion? I find that if you do Excel at the beginning of the term, right, which you generally do them in chunks, right, the kids forget about it by the time they test it, say, 4 weeks later. So is it viable to have an Excel day and a Word day, and so we can split the syllabus up like that, where we sort of, because I've seen with my kids, if I tell them to go back to Word and insert a picture when they're in grade 10, they look at me and go, when did we do that? Even though it was covered.
One of the problems that the grade 12 experience is the fact that the revision is not sufficient from the previous grades. And that counts for beginning of grade 12 as well. By the third term, when they're supposed to write prelim, they cannot remember the beginning of the year's work, never mind last year's or the before. So the options, I know what some of the teachers do is they teach everything as quick as they can, and then they revise, and then they revise, and then they revise again. Because if you only teach what you're supposed to teach, and you revise only what you're supposed to revise, that's where the problem starts. So when you say an Excel day and a Word day and an Access and Letter and HTML day, it'll be as revision. So, okay, we're done with the work now we have an Excel day. Now we have this, now we have that, now we have that, and repeat it again, and repeat it again. Because there are certain things that are not repeated in the grade 12 revision, like tables, word tables in grade 10. Yeah. They're not considered again.
Not even in grade 11 again.
Only happens in grade 10. So you need to check whichever way you want to do it. Check exactly what you need to revise and how much time you've got, and then revise that.
Okay. So, but it's as a general thing, from grade 10, get through the work as quickly as possible, then have a Word day where you do only Word activities, you insert pictures, you put this in.
With grade 10, you can do it for a whole week, and another week, and another week, because towards the end of the year, there's time that you don't have for the grade 12s.
Or the grade 11s.
And the grade 11s as well. Yeah. It's just the grade 12s would be a day. Now we've got a Word day and this day and that.
Okay, no, because I was just trying to pull ideas out, and it's really
This is my idea. What about the other?